Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Double J Talk Show. I'm Jazzy J,
And I'm JLau.
and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Joe Lau.
How's it going, everyone?
Also known as my dad.
Yes, Jacob, we are interviewing your dad today.
Yes,
So why are we interviewing your dad?
because he has his own little side project going called Phyre Dojo. And how do you spell it?
Phyre Dojo.
And why do you
Dojo.
spell it that way?
Phyre Dojo? That name I created for two reasons. Well, what I do as a hobby is I do rubbing sticks together, which is called friction fire. And if you were to Google friction fire or fire by friction, you would come up with hundreds of thousands of different kinds of things that would not be me. So I changed the name to Phyre Dojo, Phyre. So for two reasons. One, it will be easier to find me on Google because it'll come right to me. And the second reason is that fire, spelled Phyre, means a life supporting fire, not just any fire, not like your house is on fire or pour gasoline on the fire, but fire meaning this is a fire that will save your life.
So what is the whole idea of Phyre Dojo? Like, what is the entire thing?
Well, when I was younger, I started in scouts like you guys did because I was like nature boy, and I was always like outside running around in the woods and in the creek and finding crayfish and all kinds of things. And so I decided to join a wilderness survival school one day, and I just kept going back there because I really enjoyed it because I really loved doing the skills. Eventually, I became an instructor at that school after many years. And I thought I wanted to be a wilderness survival instructor, along with being a martial arts instructor, because I did martial arts too. But then I realized that I really had a love of just doing that one skill. There's many skills. There's shelter, water, plants, pottery, basketry, bows and arrows. There's like all different kinds of wilderness skills. But what I really loved doing friction fire, and I basically abandoned doing all other skills that I used to do just for this one skill so I can really be the best at it.
So it's kind of like your niche.
It is. That's exactly what it is. So if anybody wants to know anything at all on how to do rubbing sticks together to make fire by any method in the world, because we do every method in the world,
In the world.
the entire world. Like there's many techniques and methods from around the world, and so we've been successful at every one of them. We know how to do them. They're all organized and classified and named, and so we have a more linear way of teaching it. Because before, it was really just a mishmash of try this, try that. But now there's a more organized way to teach all the methods.
Okay.
So
Are you on Facebook or any other social media platforms?
I am right now. Phyre Dojo is on Facebook and Instagram, and we have a website, phyredojo.com.
All right, be sure to check those websites out.
We'll drop those links in the description so you can check them out. So you said you started at a survival school, right? So
Correct.
like a little bit of the story behind that, what did you do like beforehand? So like where was the school and, what got you started into that?
Well, the funny thing is well, the serious reason why and how I got into that was I was a very sick kid. My entire childhood was spent in and out of the hospital because I had moderate to severe asthma. In fact, I still have it. And so my childhood was filled with a lot of thoughts of unusual thoughts of life and death on a constant basis. And somehow I just started gravitating toward things of what we call activating the life value, and the vocations that kind of go with that. So traditionally, if you go back to our ancestors, there was the hunter-gatherer societies, the warrior societies, the healers, the scouts, who gathered information and tried to problem solve. All of these vocations that happen in humanity, I had a lot of deep thoughts about. And so I kind of just, because of that, I gravitated toward wilderness survival skills and martial arts. So I started really focusing on those things when I was, I'd say 11 years old. And of course, what can you do when you're 11? The only thing you can do when you're 11, and it's the 1970s, because that's how old I'm 52 now. So it's the 1970s, and I'm just some random kid in New Jersey. The only thing you could do is join a Boy Scout troop, really.
Or play the Atari.
Right, which I did. I played a lot of Atari. And join your local karate school. And I did both of those things. And I did that until when I was a teenager. I think I was 14 or 15. I found out that there was a wilderness survival school here in New Jersey. In fact, that school existed only a few miles from where we live right now here in Stewartsville. And but where I grew up in Piscataway. And the funny thing is that at that same time, I also discovered that there was a ninja school down in South Jersey. And my sensei there is, his name is Captain Jack Hoban. And I started with learning from him when I was 16 years old. And
How old was he when you were?
He's 11 years older than me, so
Okay.
he was probably 27. Wow, going back.
It's kind of like your
And,
older brother.
That was like 19, and that was 1985. So I've been doing wilderness skills and ninjutsu since 1985, when I was like 16 years old. So it's been pretty exciting. So, and I kept going to the school, the wilderness survival school, until finally, I guess they had enough of me and they decided to hire me. And I came on as a senior instructor around 1996. I got hired and I worked there until 2005. And your mother worked there too. She worked in the office. That's right. And so it was kind of nice. And so I had thoughts that someday I was going to be a martial arts instructor and a wilderness survival instructor, but I ended up being a nurse. So I went to nursing school because I wanted to be a healer, as well as not just providing and protecting, but I wanted to preserve life. And so I became a nurse. Plus I also had to support a family. I had to put Jacob through school and all kinds of things, and feed him and clothe him and
it worked
give
well.
him a place to live. It worked out okay.
I'm still living right now, so it worked out fine.
It's good. I'm glad to hear that.
So then, thinking about the whole Phyre Dojo thing, you took it from you expanded out to go specifically into the fire specific part. Outside of that, like you said, you invented different maneuvers.
Yes, yeah. So I got really crazy with it because once I had figured out and solved all the methods from around the world, there was kind of a vacuum where I was like, well, what else is there? I mean, I figured them out. So I started coming up with crazy different kinds of methods in order to do that. Like, I invented one that looks like a Klingon weapon called a batleth. So I bought a batleth online, and I made a friction fire device out of the Klingon weapon and started a fire. Like, I did all kinds of crazy things.
Now you can own your own Star Trek fire making weapon.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that maybe Star Trek will pick it up and put it in one of their shows.
Have you patented any of your inventions?
No, that's an excellent question, Jared. And I've had plenty of thoughts about this over the past 10 years because Phyre Dojo officially began in 2010, and
I was in third grade, and then
you were really young. Oh, and we have stories about it.
Oh, yeah.
You were really young.
I'd love
But-
to hear some Jacob stories.
But where was I?
The trademarking.
Oh yes. So I thought long and hard about this over the years, but friction fire belongs to all of humanity. Humanity would not be here without the skill of friction fire, and my feelings is that it belongs to everyone, so no one person should be able to own anything. So in regards to IP or intellectual property, for now I've kind of put that aside until somebody creates a situation where I would have to unfortunately do such a thing. I don't know. Hopefully that situation never arises.
Yeah.
So, but my thoughts on that is anything you want to know, anything you want to learn should be open and available to everyone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's my thought on that.
so if someone were to want to learn some of your skills, can they buy kits and
They-
then learn from your videos or whatever?
Yes. In fact, I've thought long and hard about things that I never liked about certain sets and methods. And I tried to create improvements on them that basically trying to reinvent them where they're easier to carry, easier to maintain, they're better protected from situations like accidentally stepping on it and breaking your set and feeling like you want to kick yourself for doing that. So I've come up with a few design differences, and so any set in the world that you would want that is functional and ready to go, you can order from Phyre Dojo. Yeah, that is correct.
And what are the prices of the kits?
Well, right now, the thing that people ask for the most is a hand drill set, and the reason for that is because there's kind of this thing where the hand drill seems to be the method that you want to be able to do, and I don't know if it's an ego thing, but it's only two pieces. There's a spindle that you spin, and a hearth board, which is what you spin on, and it's just you spinning the spindle, and there's no other devices, because there's a mouth drill, there's a bow drill, there's a pump drill, there's a toggle drill, and all of those require more devices, which makes the method easier. But hand drill is like if you don't do it under your own power, it's not going to work. So there's this big thing about wanting to do hand drill, and I make sets that can't make it any easier for you to get a hand drill because I select like perfect materials in order to get it done. And every set is tested before it goes out, so that's a big thing. But a lot of reasons why people don't buy other sets is because they're unfamiliar with other methods from around the world. And because of that unfamiliarity, they kind of just don't ask for those sets.
It's probably because the basic method of just using the what's that called?
A hand drill?
Hand drill. It's probably just like popular in media, so I think that's why
Yeah.
a lot of people want to get it.
Definitely, I see a lot of people like they want to use the hand drill specific method just because that's one that everyone sees everywhere.
Yeah, and you see it all the time in TV too, in those wilderness survival like TV shows.
You get the one with like the plane crashes like
Yeah.
on the island and someone needs to make a fire and they're using the hand drill.
That's right.
Pretty sure it's in an episode of Lost.
It's in Castaway with the one
Tom
with
Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely tried that one, and it's really funny to if you happen to be a primitive technologist or a wilderness survival expert, it's funny to watch someone who has no idea what they're. But that was really the point, is that he has no idea what he's doing, and but it makes it really interesting. But it's not. It doesn't seem unusual that people know about hand drill because hand drill is the most common method universally around the world because it's on every continent. It was in Australia, it was in Europe, it was in Asia, it was in the Americas, by all native peoples from those from our ancestors. So it was literally everywhere.
All right.
So in our history.
So talking actually now about continents, have you ever taken like the Phyre Dojo type things like outside the United States? Like have you ever gone traveled abroad and taught abroad?
Well, the first time I taught outside the United States was I was still working with the Wilderness Survival School, and I had talked the owners into trying to go international with their classes, which of course I was really hoping, it would be
travel
a
the world.
lead in, right,
Yeah.
right, to make. So we first went to Germany in 2005, and then we went to Japan to teach there in 2005. But I was already teaching in Japan already in I think 1998. So, and
Oh, 'cause,
we
the
have a
martial
lot of
arts, right?
friends there. Yeah, that, and we had a couple of Japanese folks come to the Wilderness Survival School from Japan. People came from all over the world, though. They came from Australia, Austria, Germany, all kinds of countries everywhere, Canada, from all over.
It's a lot of countries.
So yeah, it's pretty well known. It was very well known internationally. So they had a good reputation.
So before you mentioned about all the materials you get for the kits you get, what is the process of getting the materials for the kits?
But it depends on the kit. So I try to think ethically when it comes to harvesting material. The boards that you rub the sticks on, the hearth boards, I try to only use very sustainable woods that are not at any point in time endangered. What's funny about the handle stalks is because Jake has assisted me in harvesting these. These are basically found on the sides of the road, and so they don't cost anything. But there are rules in order to gather them. They have to be a certain size, they have to be a certain straightness, and they have to have fully matured and gone to seed. And that's a very important point because the plant, you can't collect it early. It has to have fulfilled its entire life cycle to have reproduced. And then you could see that it's either dying or already dead. And that is the stage in when you would collect it. And that time is usually the fall. But sometimes.
So about right now.
Right. So about now, I'm doing a lot of harvesting right now. But there's some plants that I can only harvest in the spring because they're harder, they're more woody, and they need to sit out in the elements through the winter to soften up. And that will be the time to collect those few stalks. But
Okay.
other than that, I try to think ethically on the materials I use. And I also try for them to be common so that other people can know that they could figure out how to get them themselves.
So do you put together like a survival guide, or like how does that work? Like, or do you like online, or how does that?
Well, here's the thing. Anybody that has a question for Phyre Dojo is completely free. Like either it's an email or through Facebook Messenger or through Instagram. However you contact me, even if it's a text, I will go out of my way to help you solve any kind of problem for you to learn this. And I try every week to put out a video talking about certain points of friction fire. I have a vlog, and it's on YouTube. And I write a few things on the vlog on my site along with the video. But I don't usually talk about it, but I have an online course. And it's basically was a documentation of me going through every single method that I possibly could and invent like we talked about ones that were invented from 2010 up until 2014. And it's if you were to sit and watch every one of those videos straight without getting up, it would take you a week. That's how much video is on
It's a
that
lot of
course.
content.
That's
A
a
lot
lot.
to
It's a
learn.
lot of content. It's a lot. It's so, and if you're starting out, it's worth it. But it saves me a lot of time from having to rehash things over and over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
So you go from like all the way to the basics, like of the standard hand drill, all the way up to
Yes.
like the bow tools and.
in fact, that's a good point, Jared, and I'm glad you mentioned that. There is really no one basic method. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter which method you start with. That's just where you start, because there's principles you need to learn. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, is that you've just started learning the world of friction fire only after you've done every single method. And because the thoughts are right now is that there's a hierarchy of methods and things like that. And I completely disagree with that. My thought is you have to you have to do every method, and then you've just started understanding how all of that works. So
All right.
All right.
Did you invent any? Like you said with the Klingon fire thing.
Klingon weapon.
Yeah. Did you invent any other methods of firekeeping?
As a matter of fact, and these are funny because I invented ones specifically for my son Jake, and one for my daughter Alexa. Now, at the time, Jake was 8 years old. How old are you now, Jake?
I'm 18.
18. So
10 years
10 years ago.
10 years ago, Jacob got his own coal with a device I invented that all he had to do was pull on a rope
Oh, yeah.
in one direction. If you can imagine someone who's on a rowing machine where you just pull a toggle on a cord. Well, I set that up to a friction fire device, and Jake, at 8 years old, started a coal, started a fire.
I think it's on YouTube of me.
It
getting
is.
my
It
first
is
one.
on YouTube, and
Not me on the process of getting the coal, just the result
right.
of me getting one.
so. But on the online course, and I'm not trying to hide it behind a paywall, but on the online course, there's the full video of me setting Jake up and him going through the whole thing, and I can remember it to this day. When he was done, he was happy he ate his Wheaties or something like that.
Frosted
or
Flakes.
Frosted Flakes. A lot of Frosted Flakes. So it was really good.
But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing, and you still do stuff with the scouts and stuff. Like, you know, remember we did stuff with the troop, and so you're still
Right.
actively.
I tried to, and I'm not going to lie to you that it was for selfish reasons too. It was to get Jake through scouts, and I mean, I was more than happy to help all the other scouts in the troop because, as you know, for a short while I was assistant scoutmaster,
Yeah.
and this is kind of a shout out to scouting in general. Parents out there need to step up and help out their troops, because one of the reasons why I became an assistant scoutmaster was because no other parents were stepping up to help out in the troops. So feel free to do that. But other than that, I love sharing this as a skill. So anyone that is truly interested in learning the skill, I will make time for you. So
Interesting.
yeah.
And then again, we're gonna share all the links in the description for those who are listening.
Yeah, we're going to share all the links. We'll make sure we have everything for your website, your Facebook, you know, so just in case if you are listening, you are interested in wanting to learn more about the Phyre Dojo and different hand friction methods of creating the fires, and even other survival tips, right?
Sure.
You know, we'll leave that, and you can contact Mr. Lau, and he'll be able to help you out. But you have any more questions?
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Are we
Thank
good
you
today?
very much.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Oh no, thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
And then to our viewers, we hope you've enjoyed our first interview. You know, we're trying to experiment, you know, of different things, right, Jacob?
We're still starting out.
We're still trying to get a few different ideas out there and a few different things. So, you know, occasionally we're going to do interviews. Occasionally we're going to talk about, you know, our lives in general.
Or just anything really.
Yeah, you know, we're going to be able to do more in-person stuff since now I am home from college officially.
Oh yeah, you're back from Susquehanna.
As of Wednesday, because we had a COVID outbreak, and now don't worry, I'm negative.
He's
I got
negative.
tested. But yep. But yeah, so now we're around until January, so we're gonna be doing a lot more in-person stuff. We're gonna get some interviews maybe, so it should be very interesting.
Pretty soon I'll have my band coming up for another interview.
Yep, we're gonna have Jacob's band coming up. That is Infected Heads, right?
Yep, Infected Heads. I'm the bassist for it.
Oh yeah, so it should be fun. So we're gonna have them do interview at some point.
And I'll probably put a couple songs on there for you guys to taste the music.
Oh yeah, we can put a few songs up. Well, we got the YouTube started.
Oh yeah, we did.
So we do. I've actually been putting them to the Night Owl Gaming channel. So,
Oh nice.
If you search on YouTube Night Owl Gaming, you'll be able to watch
Watch all my gaming videos from freshman year.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Sometimes I don't want to speak of this. Sometimes I just put it up there just so my friends can have a good laugh.
Oh yeah, but yeah, the podcasts are on the channel, and possibly some band videos will be on that channel. So,
Yep.
Yeah. But other than that, Jacob, you have anything else?
No, just stay tuned for the next episode.
Yep. We will see you all next week. I'm Jazzy J,
And I'm JLau.
and we'll see you next time on the Double J Talk Show. Don't forget to check us out on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, TuneIn, Amazon Podcasts, Audible, basically all your major podcast platforms.
And now YouTube.
And now YouTube. Yes, we're not on SoundCloud yet.
We need to get a SoundCloud.
I've been working on it. Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you all next time.